Greetings and welcome. This is Rajiv Makhni on the Sale Guru Show, and we've got some big reviews, and I mean big reviews this week. The Realme Narzo 50 Pro, MediaTek Dimensity 920 chipset, Dolby Atmos support, triple rear camera, 3 cameras with a 48 megapixel, really doing well. Big battery, 5000 mAh. This one really seems a cut above the rest, but we'll tell you if it really lives up to expectations. Then big review number 2, another phone that is absolutely epic, the iQoo Neo 6 5G, already a big bestseller. And under 30,000 rupees phone for gamers. This is looking great. 120Hz screen, Snapdragon 870 processor, 8 or 12 GB RAM options. Gamers delight, performance, good looking, all really nice. Then we're going to do something that is purely and totally being done with your demand in mind. This is the OnePlus 10R experiential review. So you've all requested it, a long-term review of the OnePlus 10R. What has been my experience so far? Is it different from my first impression? And then we'll be joined by a very special guest. And of course, we'll talk about what we're expecting at WWDC for Apple. Let's get started with today's show. Let's get started with news that is coming in. Of course, first I'll start off with what to expect at Apple's WWDC 2022. So upgrades to iOS and iPad OS, Mac OS also. iOS 16 may feature an always-on display, better messaging, better lock screen. Management could actually be better for a lot of security. Hardware, I'm not too sure, but maybe the HomePad, maybe the MacBook or MacBook Air.
Apple users have lots to get excited about next week. No, it's not new iPhones, but the next big thing. Details about the next big iOS release. And here's what we expect. iOS 16. Now don't expect a complete overhaul. iOS 16 is expected to be a quality of life upgrade with additions like an always-on lock screen for future iPhones, wallpapers that have embedded widgets, and new features coming to Apple Health. Perhaps the most interesting, however, is the rumor that Apple wants to turn iMessage into a mini social network. What shape will that take? We'll just have to wait and see. iPad OS. Meanwhile, the iPad OS upgrade might be a lot more substantial. Leaks point out to the operating system getting full multi-window functionality, a revamped lock screen, and maybe even a new notification center. Basically, expect your iPad to behave more like a Mac, which is exactly what fans have been asking for. On the watchOS side of things, users can expect some additional watch faces as well as a low power mode that will help the Apple Watch last just a bit longer. Finally, if you are expecting a new hardware, you might just be in for a nice surprise. Apple might finally introduce the long-awaited upgraded MacBook Air with a brand new M2 chip as well as a whole lot of colors. Exciting times ahead for Apple users. We'll have more from WWDC right here next week.
Let's start off with our top big review, the Realme Narzo 50 Pro. So now, great screen, slightly smaller than we thought, 6.4 inch, but AMOLED display, 90 Hz refresh rate, great processor, MediaTek Dimensity 920, the Realme UI 3.0 on Android 12. The triple rear camera, pretty good with a 16 megapixel selfie camera, 5000 mAh battery, 33 watt dart charger, so no crazy charging, and the Pro model is priced at 21,999.
With the launch of the Narzo 50 and 50 Pro, Realme has stepped onto the 5G bandwagon. On paper, the Narzo 50 Pro has all the right specs to be a great mid-range smartphone under the 25K segment and hits the right notes. But with a segment that is already populated with the likes of Xiaomi and Oppo, can the Realme Narzo 50 Pro stand its ground? We find out in our Sale Guru review. At first glance, the Realme Narzo 50 Pro looks premium. The phone is lightweight at nearly 180 grams. The design is sleek, the edges curved and a slight curve on the sides. This makes it easy to hold and comfortable to carry. The phone has thin bezels on the top and sides and slightly thick bezels on the chin. The punch-hole camera is on the top left and does not disrupt the multimedia experience. The rear panel is made of plastic and has the Kevlar texture. The point that we were impressed by is that the bag is not prone to fingerprint smudges. Coming to the display, the Realme Narzo 50 Pro supports a 6.4-inch AMOLED screen with Corning Gorilla Glass 5. It sports a 90Hz refresh rate, which was plenty good. We did not face any lags or stutters while browsing social media and the internet. Thanks to the 1000 nit peak brightness, The phone held fort while viewing under sunlight. We were also able to watch videos and perform basic tasks like reading messages and news without a hassle. The in-display fingerprint scanner was quick to respond. The mid-range smartphone is supported by a mid-range processor. The Narzo 50 Pro has the MediaTek Dimensity 920 processor. The same processor was found in the Vivo V23 and the Xiaomi 11i. We played Call of Duty and did not feel any lag. MediaTek Dimensity 920 processor is known as the budget-friendly gaming processor. The device runs on Realme UI 3.0 skin based on Android 12. It is the bloatware that makes for a disappointing experience. While you can customize the phone to your liking, you cannot uninstall most of the pre-installed apps. It does not have the cleanest operating system. We were pretty happy with the audio quality of the phone. The dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos is loud and clear. We enjoyed the multimedia experience it had to offer. The phone handles day-to-day tasks without a hitch. Multi-tab browsing, scrolling on social media was a smooth experience and we have no complaints here. The phone comes with a triple rear camera setup. It has a 48-megapixel primary sensor, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera and a 2-megapixel macro sensor. The front sports a 16-megapixel selfie camera. The phone handles 4K recording pretty well. The primary sensor is plenty good. The images have good dynamic range with accurate colors. We saw plenty of details on the images. The 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens is similar to the primary lens. The colors were vibrant and the dynamic range was on point. However, the details on the 48-megapixel primary camera were better. We were mighty impressed with the 2-megapixel macro lens. The colors and details were spot on. The 16-megapixel front camera is good enough to take bright selfies. The Realme Narzo 50 Pro also gives a number of filters and skin texture edit options to beautify those selfies. The Narzo 50 Pro has a big battery at 5000 mAh. It comes with a 33-watt dart charger. It took us slightly over an hour to charge from 7% to 100%. With normal usage, the battery will easily last you a day. Sleek design, good display, a great battery and a camera that performs beyond expectations. The phone does have some good offerings. The performance of the phone would have been better if there were less third-party applications or if we were given the option of uninstalling all of them. Overall, the Realme Narzo 50 Pro is a well-balanced mid-range smartphone. Priced at 23,999 rupees for the 8GB variant, the phone is a good option to consider under the 25K segment.
Now let's move on to our big review, and this is the iQoo Neo 6 5G. Interestingly, already a big bestseller on Amazon, and I think it deserves it. 6.62-inch display with HDR10+, 1200 nits of peak brightness, 120Hz screen, in-display fingerprint scanner. There's no IP rating, but we did splash it around, not too bad. Snapdragon 870, so near flagship processor. You can buy 8GB or 12GB of RAM options. Total gamer's delight in terms of performance with Android 12, 4700 mAh battery, good triple rear camera, 16 megapixel front camera, price is under 30,000 rupees. Brilliant.
iQoo's reputation was built on the back of performance-focused devices that deliver great value and cutting-edge design for new-age customers. The latest Neo 6 5G is no exception to that promise. In the Cellguru review of the iQoo Neo 6, we take a look at if the phone can hold its own against ample competition from Xiaomi and Realme. The design of the iQoo Neo 6 bears a strong resemblance to some of the latest hardware from Vivo, but that's not a bad thing at all. The large camera module has a premium look to it that belays the price point, though the large Neo branding might not be to everyone's taste. The rest of the design is pretty standard, though the plastic back isn't as high-end as you'd expect in the premium mid-range segment. Over on the front, you will find a large 6.62-inch screen that has all the latest bells and whistles, including HDR10+ support and up to 1200 nits of peak brightness. Yes, it's a 120Hz panel as well and comes with ample options to customize the screen. We found the display to be perfectly visible outdoors, though the default colors are a bit too saturated. You'll also find essentials like an under-display fingerprint reader that is quick to unlock the phone but no IP rating. This being an iQoo phone, performance is a key selling point. On that note, the performance comes equipped with a Snapdragon 870 chipset that perfectly balances performance with frugal battery consumption and of course value. You also get an option of 8GB or 12GB of RAM. We had the one with 12 GB. The phone had no trouble playing high-end games during our testing with Genshin Impact, delivering a stable frame rate, and multitasking is no issue either. The iQoo Neo 6 comfortably holds its position against competing phones. Moreover, the well-optimized FunTouch 12 built on top of Android 12 further helps keep the phone running smoothly. Battery life is good for a full day of use, but you'll definitely have to top up the phone overnight. It is a good thing then that the 14700 mAh battery doesn't take too long to charge. Using the 80-watt charger included in the box, you can now go from 0 to 100 in just over 30 minutes. Moving on to the cameras, you'll find a 64-megapixel primary camera that can deliver quality results. The dynamic range was decent in our testing, but the phone fumbled a bit with the high dynamic range content. Similarly, low light shots were decent but had noise levels. The ultra-wide lens at 8 megapixel doesn't have a lot of resolution to work with but managed to get good shots. Finally, you will also find a 2 megapixel macro camera to play around. Interestingly, the front 16 megapixel sensor punches above its weight and proved to be effective at capturing high quality images. Skin tones look fairly natural and there's ample detail in the shots. The iQoo Neo 6 is priced starting at 29,999 rupees, which makes it quite a good proposition for most users. While the phone isn't the most powerful or feature-packed, it makes up for it with a good mix of looks, features, and performance. That high-quality package makes it perfect for balancing features and value for performance seekers and gamers on a budget.
Let's take a quick break right now. On the show, when we come back, lots more. Now let's do something very interesting. This is what all of you have been asking. We did a review of the OnePlus 10R and a lot of you were very impressed with the phone and a lot of you have been asking and sending me questions about it. So as an answer to all of them, I'm going to give you my long-term observation as I've been using this phone for quite some time now. Plus, I also met up with a very special guest a few days back. So first, of course, my 10R long-term review. So from the get-go, the OnePlus 10R does not look like any of the previous OnePlus phones. The design stands out and I did get a lot of people asking me about the phone as I was using it. So the slats and everything at the back, really nice. So it does stand out in terms of the phone looks. Also, easy to hold and use and not slippery, and it's not a fingerprint magnet at all. So those things I did appreciate as I used it. Now what I really missed is the alert slider. Quite surprised that OnePlus wouldn't do their signature feature on a phone this good. Now let's go to the front, coming to the display. Very impressive. I was very impressed. I was able to do so many things. My main test is always about how a phone feels indoor and then also outdoor. Now, even in the bright sun, this did very well. It doesn't fade out, so I was able to read even with the sun directly on it. Plus, the 120 Hz display combined with an amazing pair of stereo speakers. I enjoyed playing games, binge watching movies on this also. Another thing that did well in the outdoor environment usually fails in other phones is that whenever I would use the in-display fingerprint scanner with the sun on it, very quick to unlock, good response also. Even worked with moist fingers. However, there is no IP rating, so advisable to keep the phone away from major splashes. Thought about moisture, no problem at all. Now, MediaTek Dimensity 8100 Max SoC, as expected, I got great performance. I didn't face any issue running heavy games or scrolling social media on this, and I opened many tabs on Chrome, no problem at all. Talking about the battery, 4500 mAh battery, 150 watt charger, which is the big deal. The battery easily lasted me about a day plus. So if you want more battery life, you can get the 5000 mAh version with the 80 watt variant, but I still think the 150 charger is the way to go. I have to tell you this, there was a time when I had just about 5-7 minutes before I was to take a flight, and I actually got enough charge in that much time to last me through a 4-hour flight and watching a movie. It's quite a feature, and they do provide the charger inside the box. Finally, coming to the cameras, the main 50 megapixel sensor did a good job, good dynamic range, ample details, night shots also turned out to be great. The 8 megapixel ultra wide sometimes did a great job, and sometimes I found the colors were a little muted, but still not bad at all. The 10R can record 4K videos, and I got some great videos on a family trip also, so that way also it worked out very well. Now that was my long-term review, and now to meet our special guest who I met a few days back. Praveen Dudani joins us from Bangalore. Praveen, very, very nice to have you out here.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you for one or two specific things about this phone. Mera to long-term review aapne dekh liya, right? Now, I'm going to ask you a few things about this because I want to know from a consumer's perspective. Why do you like this so much? But before that, let's get a little history. So you've been with on OnePlus phones for quite a while, right?
Yes.
How many years?
Approximately 5 to 6 years now.
And I hear that you have this personality trait where not only just your family, you also try and get your friends and colleagues, everyone to switch to OnePlus.
Yes.
Why is that? मतलब लोगों को अपनी freedom रहने दो यार.
No, I think the performance that OnePlus gives and the complete package that it gives, I think it's been very good. So, and personally, when I've been using it for so many years, and my friends are looking for a change of phones, I give them a preference. I mean, I give them a suggestion that go with OnePlus because
How
I've been
many
using
people
it
listen to you?
quite a bit actually.
Yeah?
Almost I think 70% of my friends now use a OnePlus phone.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, this is a very interesting thing. I was thinking of doing something completely different, but now what we'll do is, let's see if you can convince the audience. Why should they go for a OnePlus 10R? But we'll do it this way. Giving you the phone,
Okay.
I will give you a timer because
Okay.
it's TV, don't have forever. Exactly 60 seconds, okay? So when I say the timer starts now, convince me, convince the entire audience. Why do you think the 10R is such a great phone? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you guys ready with the timer? All right. Your 1 minute starts now.
So the 10R, I think the biggest and the most important aspect of the phone is the charge, and it's 150 supervook charge that we can 150 watt supervook charge, and it's so fast. Then I just go for a shower and I come back and I see that my phone is already charged by 70-80%,
Okay.
and it charges the complete phone in 17 minutes. So that's a big difference. And plus the overall package that we have with the camera and the design, I mean, look at the design here. It's so different and refreshing compared to the ones that we have had earlier, and we see it across different brand phones. It's really refreshing, and the paneling that's done on the back, it's really nice. The camera, obviously, it's a flagship camera, so it delivers really good photographs. And being a photographer myself, I mean, I like to click pictures. I mean, I really like the picture quality and the color that has come out with the photographs that have been on the OnePlus 10R. So yeah, that is why I think you guys, if you're looking for a change, OnePlus 10R is definitely one of the nice devices that you can definitely go for.
All right. So that is his convincing story. Was it under a minute? Under a minute. Okay, now it's basically the charging of the phone that is really attractive. Do you think the rest of the package lives up to that amazing wow of the charging?
Definitely. I mean, if you see the price range that the product is for, with regards to the charging, definitely that's the highlight. But the camera and the design and the processor, the speed that the phone offers, I think that's definitely a very big yes from my side. I feel for the phone, because the overall package for the cost range, it's really good. So the battery, the performance, the camera, the speed, the design, all of it I think makes a complete package for the price
All right,
range.
great. So thank you, Praveen. Thanks a lot. And of course, like I said, I'm going to be inviting a lot of you here. I'll do my review, you do yours. Let's see who does better. That then was the Sale Guru show for this week. Do join me next week. Great stuff coming on, including, of course, WWDC and many new phones.